Okay, and welcome to our discussion about Colombia's earthquake. We are going to be discussing about both formal and technical vocabulary and looking at different ways to use it. We are starting with simple vocabulary, so just going through and reading the terms. So we will start with Isa, if you would be so kind as to read for us the first three vocabulary items, Isa.
Yeah, the first one is seismic, related to earthquakes. Magnitude, the size or strength of an earthquake. Epicenter, the point surface directly above where the quake starts.
Okay, yeah. So we have seismic, seismic, yeah, referring to earthquakes. But notice that it's an adjective, it's not a noun, right? So we don't say there was a seismic, we say there was a seismic activity. And then the other one, strength, that it has that horrible th sound that all language learners dislike. But yeah, strength, right there, th. Okay. Let's go to Diana Jimeno next. If you could do the next three.
Okay. Tremor, a shaking movement of the ground. Tectonic plates, huge sections of the Earth's crust that move slowly. Structural damage, harm done to a building frame or foundation.
Okay, cool. Yeah, okay. So a lot of these terms, like as we get to more advanced language, Spanish speakers get an advantage, right? If your native language was Japanese, you would not have an advantage here. But because your native language is Spanish, words like seismic, magnitude, epicenter, all of these are going to reflect words that already exist in the Spanish language. We're going to go to Diana Patricia for these three here. We cannot hear you, Diana Patricia. Okay, there we go. We can hear you now, I think.
To collapse, to fall down suddenly. Casualties, people killed or injured in an event. Humanitarian aid, assistance, food, medicine, shelter given to people in crisis.
Yeah, so humanitarian aid can take a variety of different forms, not just medicine. And then casualties. Casualties include not just the people who are killed. Those are fatalities. Fatalities. But also the people who were injured. So it's a combination of both that are the casualties. Okay. And then we're going to go to Diana Jimeno, if you can read the last three. Diana Jimeno. Okay. We'll go to Isa, if you could read the last three.
Okay. Displacement, being forced to leave one's home. Resilience, the ability to recover from a difficult event. Seismologists, a scientist who studies earthquakes.
Yeah, so just like we had before, we had seismic, right? Seismic. Here we have seismologist. So we have some connection there. And then displacement, obviously in the history of Colombia, we have people who are displaced because of armed conflict. We also have people who are displaced because of natural disaster. So two different types of displacement. Okay. Any questions on these words before we move to the next exercise?
No. Clear.
Okay. Thank you, Isa. Okay. Our next exercise is matching. So this is randomized, right? So we need to connect them. We have words on the left. We have definitions on the right. The easiest way to do this is from right to left. So that would be my recommendation. It's not required. So we will start with Diana Jimeno. If you could match one of the terms.
Okay, let me see. Let me see, please. Let me read.
Okay, and you can read out loud.
Okay. An official declaration giving the government extra powers to respond.
Okay.
A state of emergency, definitely.
Yeah, very good. Okay, perfect. Okay, Diana Patricia, next one.
The broken remains of destroyed buildings. Aftershock.
In this case, no. Do you want to guess again?
To sustain damage. I don't know.
Okay. So in this case, broken remains of a building is going to be rubble. That I thought that word would probably not be familiar to you guys. So
No.
But I don't remember what they're called in Spanish. The Flintstones, the caveman family. Do you remember that TV show?
Yes.
What is it called in Spanish?
Los Picapiedra.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. There we go. So in English, we call them the Flintstones. That flint is a type of rock, stone, obviously rock. And then the blonde friend, his name is Barney Rubble. So rubble refers to, right, like broken rocks. So a lot of their names are related to things like that. Okay. Let's go to Isa.
For me, search and rescue, an operation to find and save survivors.
Yeah, very good. Okay, back to Diana Jimeno.
Okay. To suffer or experience damage. I would say aftershock.
Okay.
Suffer, experience damage. No. To sustain.
Yeah, to sustain. Yeah. Yeah. So in the original activity, it showed you if it was like a verb or a noun. I thought that was too easy, so I took away the clues. But yeah, to sustain, verb, to suffer, kind of the same. Yeah. Okay. And then we go to Diana Patricia.
A crack in the earth crust where quakes occur. Fault line.
Yeah, very good. Yeah. So if we look at like around the edges of the Pacific Ocean, Pacific Ring of Fire, around the edges of the Pacific Ocean, there are a lot of fault lines that result in there being a lot of earthquakes. So there's Seattle up there in the north. Here is South America down here in the south, Colombia, and then we also have like Japan, places like that that have a lot of earthquakes. So different fault lines. Okay. And Isa, last one.
Aftershock. Aftershock. A smaller quake that follows the main one.
Okay. Cool. Okay. Yeah, there we go. So those are some useful words. They're a little bit more technical words that if you're having like a casual conversation, you might not be talking about the fault lines and the states of emergency, but that's useful.
Spence.
Yeah.
In the aftershock, you can say to after effect. Or no, or it's aftershock.
So the after effect would be referring to the damage. Yeah, so the aftershock is the replica, the earthquake that comes afterward.
Okay.
Yeah, the
Okay.
after effect is like the rubble, like the damaged buildings. Yeah. Okay, cool. Okay, so our next piece, we have a listening passage. Okay. Oh, sorry. Any questions, other questions on the vocabulary before we move forward? No?
No, that was my
No.
Okay.
question.
Okay. Okay. Awesome. Okay, so the next one is a listening passage. So we're going to listen to it one time, just hearing it, and then we'll probably listen to it a second time where we can actually see the text. But I want you to just hear the text the first time. So it's fairly short. It's just 3 paragraphs. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So reading passage. Early this morning, a powerful seismic event with a magnitude of 7.4 struck western Colombia. Its epicenter, located near a small town in the Chocó department, within seconds, the initial tremor sent residents rushing into the streets, and less than an hour later, a smaller aftershock rattled the same region. Seismologists explain that the quake originated along a fault line, where 2 tectonic plates grind against one another, deep beneath the Earth's surface. In the hardest hit cities, dozens of buildings sustained severe structural damage, and several ultimately collapsed, leaving streets buried under rubble and the number of casualties climbing by the hour. Authorities scrambled to evacuate residents from unstable structures while search and rescue teams combed through the wreckage for survivors. The national government swiftly declared a state of emergency, unlocking funds and clearing the way for international humanitarian aid to reach the hardest hit communities. For thousands of families now facing displacement, the coming weeks will test not only the country's damaged infrastructure, but also its collective resilience. As one local seismologist noted, the region has long been known to sustain periodic tremors, though rarely one of this scale. Okay, so we'll do Diana Jimeno. Were there any unfamiliar words in that passage? You were on mute.
No. So far,
No,
no.
you knew them all? Okay.
I think.
Yeah, okay. Okay. What about for you, Diana Patricia? Any unfamiliar words?
No.
Okay. So this is the difference between listening and reading, right? When we listen, we hear the things we know. We don't necessarily hear the things that we don't know, right? So words like comb, words like wreckage. What were the other ones?
Swiftly.
Sorry?
Swiftly.
Swiftly, yeah. Scrambled,
Scrambled.
yeah.
Mm.
Like we might know scrambled eggs, right? Huevos revueltos.
Yeah.
But this is not what they're talking about. So it's the difference between reading and listening, that when we listen, right, we hear the words we know, we don't hear the words that we don't. But when we read, we see like, oh gosh, like, yeah, what is scrambled? Does anyone know what scrambled is?
Does
Not
anyone? I didn't understand the question.
Oh, does anyone know the meaning of the word scramble in this
No.
context?
Like they do it right away or something like that?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's why, like, within listening, we don't necessarily need to understand 100% of the words, because in context, yeah, to do something quickly, I would say like rush around, kind of like moving in like a panicked way. Yeah. hmm Yeah. Like maybe if like a teenage boy had his girlfriend over, and they were kissing, and the parents like walked in, they like scrambled, and oh no, nothing's happening here, like there's like a panic. So, okay. I'm going to read through it one more time, and then we're going to do the comprehension questions, but just kind of to work on pronunciation and also comprehension. So,
Right, wait.
oh yeah, go ahead.
There's another word that I don't know.
Okay.
Wreckage for survivors.
Wreckage. Yeah, so wreckage is like the remaining, like destroyed, like cars or ships or buildings. So like scuba divers, a lot of the time they want to go down to see the wreckage of like the sunken ship at the bottom of the ocean. But in this case, yeah, the wreckage would be like the destroyed buildings.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Reading passage. Early this morning, a powerful seismic event with a magnitude of 7.4 struck western Colombia. Its epicenter, located near a small town in the Chocó department. Within seconds, the initial terror sent residents rushing into the streets, and less than an hour later, a smaller aftershock rattled the same region. Seismologists explained that the quake originated along a fault line, where two tectonic plates grind against one another, deep underneath the Earth's surface. In the hardest hit cities, dozens of buildings sustained severe structural damage, and several ultimately collapsed, leaving streets buried under rubble and the number of casualties climbing by the hour. Authorities scrambled to evacuate residents from unstable structures while search and rescue teams combed through the wreckage for survivors. The national government swiftly declared a state of emergency, unlocking funds and clearing the way for international humanitarian aid to reach the hardest hit communities. For thousands of families now facing displacement, the coming weeks will test not only the country's damaged infrastructure, but also its collective resilience. As one local seismologist noted, the region has long been known to sustain periodic tremors, though rarely one on this scale. Okay. And anyone know swiftly?
Yeah.
Quickly.
Yep. Yeah, quickly. Yeah. What were you going to say, Isa?
No, I was doing something different.
Oh, okay.
No, because I saw other information. So
No, that's okay.
swiftly is like softly, like something more light.
Yeah. So there's a thing called a Swiffer. Swiffer. That it's for like mopping up like dust and stuff like that. So I think they call it a Swiffer because you can do it swiftly. You can like clean everything like very quickly. But I don't know for sure. But that's how we get maybe that idea of like soft. Yeah. Okay. So that is our text. Let's go to comprehension. We will start with Diana Patricia, the first question.
What was the magnitude of the earthquake described in the passage? The magnitude of the earthquake was 7.4.
Yeah, very good. Was 7.4. Yeah, and one thing also to note, this, like we say, point, so we say comma, right? So in Spanish, we would write 7,4, but in English, we write 7.4. So good job. Good job. Okay, let's do Isa for the next one.
Where was the epicenter of the earthquake located? The epicenter was in Chocó.
Yeah, the epicenter was in the department, right?
Department, yeah. Specifically, Department of Chocó.
Chocó. Okay. Perfect. I was going to mention one thing really quickly, and that is that some of these words, like you guys take it for granted, like you guys don't appreciate it. But if you came from a background like your native language was Arabic and you were learning English, a word like resilience would be very hard. But because you have Spanish as your background, it's a lot easier, right? Because Spanish has a lot of these words in common. So be grateful. just like for me, for like an English learner learning Spanish, like there's a lot of words that like should not be easy that are. So okay, and then let's do Diana Jimeno. Last question.
Okay. The hardest one.
Yes, for sure.
According to the flashlight, what causes an earthquake like this one to occur? The movement of the tectonic plates.
Tectonic plates. Okay. Along what lines?
There's another word in there because I don't remember.
Yeah, there's another word. Okay, no, that's okay. You got the hardest question. Along what lines? I highlighted it for you.
Yes, a local fault line.
Fault lines, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay, so along the fault lines. Okay, awesome. Great job, everybody. Thank you for joining us. We'll be doing another class shortly about casual language, but thank you for joining us for this class about formal technical vocabulary.
Thank you.
Thank you.